Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going over a recipe that I really love. It's called Cortadillo, and this is a traditional Mexican bread that you find at most Mexican bakeries, and it looks like a vanilla cake, and they cut it into pieces. Usually it's triangles. I cut it into squares, but it has a pink glaze at the top with rainbow nonpareils. So I really love this recipe. I love this cake. We're going to run through the entire recipe and a few changes that I made. So let's get started. To start my recipe, I'm going to be adding 5 large eggs at room temperature into my stand mixer. You can also do this with a hand mixer or by hand. It's going to take a little bit longer, but it is possible. So 5 large eggs into my stand mixer. At this point, I'm also adding in my 1 1/4 cups of sugar. And what we're doing is we're going to whisk this at medium-high speed for at least 5 minutes. What we are looking for is for the sugar to dissolve with the eggs, and we want the eggs to change in color. So we're looking for a light yellow color to this mixture. This method of mixing is going to give us more of a fluffy cake. It's going to be a moist cake, and that is the reason why we do it this way. Once you have reached the 5 minutes and your mixture looks light yellow, you're going to go ahead and start adding in your dry ingredients. So at this point, I'm adding in 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. At this step, you also want to add your baking powder. So I'm adding in 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to make sure to mix this on medium to low speed. The reason why we want to do this is because we're also going to be adding in our liquids slowly, and we want to make sure that everything incorporates. I also added in 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and I went ahead and turned this to low. And what you want to do is you want to add in your milk. While your stand mixer is on, you want to go ahead and add in the milk slowly. We added in 2/3 cups of milk. This is whole milk that was at room temperature. And at this point, I'm also adding in the vegetable oil. I'm adding in 1 1/4 cups of oil. You also, by this point, just want to mix enough to where everything mixes, but not too much. So as you saw at the end, I just kind of bumped it up to high speed for 10 seconds and then turned it off because that was enough. I'm adding in my mixture for my cake into my greased pan. I added in nonstick spray, but you can use butter, you can use vegetable shortening. I like to use nonstick spray and then just kind of sprinkle some flour on it so that your cake doesn't stick. Add in your batter, and now we are going to bake. You want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and I went ahead and baked this for 35 to 40 minutes. You want to check in at the 20-minute mark just to make sure that your cake is not burning at the top or around the edges. And usually when it looks about ready, it'll look golden at the top. Make sure you insert a toothpick down the center just to make sure it is completely done. While that is baking, I am going to go ahead and continue to make the glaze. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I added too much milk, and I slowly started to figure that out as I was mixing, because what we're looking for to top the cortadillo, it's not a traditional frosting or icing. We are looking more of a glaze. So you know when you go to bite a donut or eat a donut, it's a glaze that is thin enough to cover the top of the donut, but it's not too thin where it runs off of the donut. So that's the consistency we're looking for. In the beginning, I just started to add in more sugar, but it didn't work. So let me tell you what I did wrong here. So I had 1 cup of powdered sugar and 1/2 cup of milk. That is too high of a ratio for this to work. So you want to start with 1 cup of powdered sugar, and then you're going to start with tablespoons. So add in 2 to 3 tablespoons in the beginning. And remember, we're looking for the consistency of a donut glaze. Usually that consistency is reached at the 3rd or 4th tablespoon. So make sure to add that in slowly. It's easier to add in milk than it is to add in sugar, because then you'll just end up with a frosting that is too sweet or a glaze that is too sweet. Once you have that down, you also want to go ahead and melt 1.5 tablespoons of butter. So I went ahead and melted this in my microwave, and once that is melted, you want to go ahead and add it in to your milk and powdered sugar mixture and continue to mix. I also added in a dash of vanilla, and I know you guys want measurements, so a dash for me is between an eighth of a teaspoon to a quarter teaspoon. So go wild with whatever your heart decides, but I usually just kind of eyeball it. I also added in a literal pinch of salt, which is an eighth of a teaspoon, and I added in 1 drop of pink food coloring. So for this, it's not necessary that it is pink, but the traditional Mexican cortadillo has a pink icing or a pink glaze at the top, so that's why I did it pink, but you can literally make it any color that you want. But if you walk into a Mexican bakery, this is the way that you'll see it. This is my little tip or hack for when icing this. Usually people will remove it from the pan and they'll put the glaze or the icing at the top and then cut it. For a cleaner cut, what I did is I basically just pre-cut this cake. And you can make these cuts or these slices as big or as small as you want. The traditional way to cut this is in triangles. But I just went ahead and cut these into small squares because my kids were gonna have some. I didn't want them to have such a big piece, and I also didn't want to have the hassle of having a knife on the table with my kids, so I pre-cut it to where we just had to like spoon our piece out. Once you have reached your desired pieces cut or the way that you want to cut this, you're going to go ahead and just pour on your glaze. Now, your glaze should not be as runny as mine. I will say that the positive thing about the glaze and how it turned out for me is that when I poured it in, it kind of seeped into the cake, almost like a tres leches cake, but not completely. So when we did go ahead and bite this after dinner, it had that consistency of being moist. I know some of you don't like the word moist, but it was very moist. It wasn't dry, but it shouldn't be that way. The goal of this is for you to bite. You're gonna feel the softness of the cake and then the deliciousness of the glaze. It shouldn't be runny like this. So take notes from when I described how your icing should look a few minutes back. That's what it should look like. And I'll also go ahead and put this in the description box below, so don't worry about that. At this point, I was freaking out because I was like, okay, this is gonna stiffen up. This should work, but it wasn't gonna work. At the amount of milk that I put in, I think it was gonna take the entire bag of powdered sugar to stabilize it to where it was going to be like a glaze. And at that point I needed to go pick up my kids, so I was like, you know what, it is what it is. We ate it anyway, so it turned out great, but I'm giving you tips on what to do and what not to do. Here I just continued to add this in. I did go ahead and add in all of my glaze. You shouldn't have this much because I just added too much liquid. But I did go ahead and use all the glaze, and like I said, it kind of turned out like a tres leches cake in the end, which was a positive, but that wasn't the idea. Anyway, once you are done spreading your icing or your glaze, you're gonna want to start putting on your nonpareils. So usually what happens is when you have a glaze like for donuts, it'll start to harden up within a few minutes, so you want to do it quickly. And I went ahead and did that. And then once you are done adding in your sprinkles, you want to make sure to place this in the refrigerator if you're not going to eat it immediately, or at room temperature. Ensure that your house is not too hot, because your glaze will probably start to melt. So you can leave it at room temperature, store it in the fridge. I stored mine in the refrigerator because I was preparing other foods at the time. So that's why it went into the refrigerator and we enjoyed it after dinner. I really hope you try this recipe because it is truly delicious. I will have all of the correct directions and ingredients and measurements down below in the description box. You can also find shorter versions of my video on my Instagram, on my shorts, reels, on every social media platform that I have. So be sure to follow me there. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, share it with a friend, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section down below, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.